So we'll whip through with the discs to start with. There's a good bite on there again now. Now we're farming! So the new Power Harrow's working really well. Oh, just banged my head. So just getting ready for autumn cultivations. Got the sprayer on the 185, that's going to go out tomorrow. It's a bit damp yet. Got some burning off on some grassland to do for reseeding. And I'm just heading off with the Bednar discs. Going to just go and disc up some grassland, which we're going to add some diversification to the sward. That's going to be all sorts of wildflowers and stuff going in there. So we'll whip through with the discs to start with, just to break the turf up a little bit. We don't want to kill it all off because I want some of those grasses to come back through. So it's a bit harsh going straight in with the Power Harrow. So we disc it first, then 1 or 2 passes of the Power Harrow to get it nice and flat, aiming for about 50–60% bare soil. So we'll head off now to that site, get the sprayer filled up later, hopefully first thing in the morning, be able to get out spraying. And then tomorrow afternoon we're mowing again, got another 15–20 acres to drop for baling this weekend. I don't want to go too deep with this, so we'll put a few of the stoppers in. So that's unfolded, auto track. Oh, here we go. The Starfire is engaged. I mustn't have plugged it in quite right. It's just taking a moment to think about itself. Nice thing with these Bednar discs, I know I keep banging on about it. We're not sponsored by them or anything. I just think it's great kit. We don't see a lot of it around Cheshire. It's just built like a tank. So I can flick a couple of these in now. These are just like depth stops. So I don't want it running too deep. We'll put 3 packers in to start, I think. We'll try it on that. See, those little spaces just drop in there. And then when I drop this hydraulic ram back, that'll set the depth. In fact, we'll go a bit shallower than that. Let's go 4. Yeah, the idea is not to work it too deep. It's just enough so we can tittle it with the Power Harrow without being too aggressive on it. It's a bit brutal going straight into this sort of dry ground with the Power Harrow. So this is a few videos ago, you'll have seen us mowing this second cut. There's a good bite on there again now. It's only been a couple of weeks. That little bit of rain we've had's really helped. You'll notice that it's quite coarse grasses. Got a lot of cocksfoot, modern cocksfoots, Timothy in here. Not a lot of ryegrass, which is good because we don't want it too aggressive, competing against the wildflowers. A little bit of white clover left in here. A little bit of chicory. But it's nothing like that. There's some red clover as well. And we've got some vetches, but it's nothing like the diversity it used to have. So we're going to want to make this a bit better than it is from an ecological point of view and for our diverse sward that we like for the Longhorns. So now I've set that depth stop. So that, you see it's going there, and that's running at about 4 inches. So we'll give it a try at that. I might need to set it a bit deeper. We'll see how we get on. So because the field's already mapped in here, it knows the boundaries, and because I've set them on the 4-metre machine that we've got on the back, it's just set the grid line straight across the field. So we're good to go. We'll leave a bit of a headland. Well, that's doing a really good job, better than I anticipated, to be honest. I don't want it to leave it too cloddy, because we want to make sure that we can get this quite flat again easily with the Power Harrow. So if I go too deep, it'll come up with great big clods. I'll tell you what, that's taking a bit of pulling up here. There we go. Yes, you need a 4-wheel drive coming up there. Quite a lot of resistance behind these. You see where we've been there now already. It's just breaking that surface up. Not going too deep, just allowing it so we can go through the Power Harrows, tittle it all around, and just get a bit of a seed bed. It's not about perfect seed bed conditions. We want some of this grass to come back. We don't want to kill it all off, but we want that soil contact for the wildflower seeds that we're going to be sowing. What we do sometimes is rotivate, but that leaves it a bit lumpy. You're still going to go over the Power Harrow, and if you're not careful, you leave a bit of a pan, where, because this is ripping the soil up as opposed to grinding away at it, you don't leave a pan quite the same, which helps with drainage and not getting that compacted layer. So we prefer going over it with these, and it covers the ground quickly as well. We're 4 metre working width. I'm travelling at about 15k We could probably go faster. Oh, she's going well. Now we're farming. She's just breaking that sod up, getting a bit of soil there exposed. Power Harrow will make a lovely job after that. We've had a little bit of rain we've had over the last few days, it's just helped. Machine's just getting in. There'll be some of you watching and thinking, what the heck is Rick doing? What are you doing to that grass field? All will be revealed. Makes it so simple with the auto steer. You might be able to see there, we're just shaded in those blue sections. Got the speed control set, the depth control set. There really is very little for me to do on this tractor in this sort of operation. Once the machine sets the right depth, once the machine sets the right depth, top links at the right setting. It's all saved in the computer. Just flip the switch and away it goes. Brilliant. Will not take long at all. Little spot of rain now. Now this might be a really bad idea, but I've just put the camera on the back of the discs. This might be the last footage it ever makes. We shall see. It might be a bit shaky on the back of there, I don't know. There's not even forecast to be any rain today. I'm meant to be mowing either this evening or tomorrow. But we've got a spit now, the sky's gone very dark. Quite light land on this field, so I don't think it'll make too much difference. If we get a little bit of a shower on it, it's not going to affect us too much for power harrowing later or tomorrow, unless it's a big downpour. Fasten you guys onto the mounting board or the mounting bracket for the lights. That might have been a bit of a shaky ride. So I'll just show you what we're trying to achieve here. You can see the biggest problem with these big sods of turf that'll come up. Now hopefully the power harrow with 1 or 2 passes on that, we get that fined down. So we're only going in about 4 inches. 75 mil, 75 to 100 mil. Just breaking that up enough so that when we go over it with the power harrow, we're not like just digging into hard ground. Surprising how much moisture we've got in here now. We've not had much rain. I think the way we've played it by getting that really early cut off here, then getting the coverage over the ground through that real dry spell, and only just taking it off at the end of the dry spell as a late second, as a second cut, it seems to have preserved the moisture in the field, which has allowed us to get a reasonable crop off it. If you see in here, you see how it's tearing the ground. Because it's tearing the ground up, it's not leaving a hard scalloped surface like a rotavator would. So we've still got some soil structure below as opposed to just capping it off. So that's why I prefer going over with these discs. I might have shown you this before. What I love on these Bednars, we'll show you this probably at cereals, the scrapers. If you get a stone blocked in here, it can be a real pain trying to hammer them out. These have just got a lynch clip on top. So you can just flip that clip off and then just pull the scraper straight out. So, if there's a stone jammed, a little tap on the top of it, you dropped it out of the way, and then clip just straight back in the top. Such a simple design, but, makes it really easy in the field. I don't know anyone, maybe there are dealers in Cheshire selling these, I'm not sure. Never see anyone around here selling them or advertising them. So the great thing about these is the weight. When we've demoed other makes, they weren't as heavy as this. These are really, really heavy, as you see on the tractor. You still need a bigger weight block on the front end. But because they're so heavy, even in these harder conditions, it's not bouncing out the field and bouncing out the ground. It's staying in and getting the job done. Whereas any lighter and they're bouncing, because you need that forward speed to get the cutting and mixing action. So it's not like, if it's a bit harder conditions, they'll slow down a bit. If you do that, you're not getting the best out of the discs because it ain't chopping and mixing the same. So speed's important, but obviously in hard conditions, rough conditions, that creates bounce, which means that you're in and out of the ground and not doing the job. That's why we've been so impressed with these ones. It's a shame we've not got any water to this field. If we had water to here, then we could have got a quick graze off this with the young stock first, but the amount of grass that's on here, it wasn't worth bringing the bowser down and setting all that up for a few days. So we chop it in, and what we lose in a few bites to eat, we'll gain in soil conditioning with the organic matter that will come off the grass we're chopping up. This drier season we've had, though, it's certainly going to be wearing parts a bit quicker. So you can see there the advantage of the auto steer. Worked out those big blocks, done these cuttings and just left us a perfect 4 metre strip left to go down, covering the field dead efficiently. Notice here on the right, there's a strainer post knocking out. We've got the AB line set up, so 4 metres. We just missed that. I know that's precision farming or just damn lucky, but I'll take that as precision. Yeah, lovely straight passes, all matches up. I don't know whether you're allowed to use auto steer in a ploughing match or not. Maybe that's classed as cheating. I've never done a ploughing match before. Maybe with this modern agriculture now, there'll be a disking section or a min-till section at the Cheshire ploughing match this year. I'll have to speak to Doug. I believe Doug's one of our breakfast viewers. Normally watches it first thing in the morning. Let us know in the comments, Doug, what you're having for breakfast today. When we took this ground on quite a number of years ago, we ploughed it. It had previously been an arable. I think we've had grass on here now for, I don't know, getting on 10 years. We ploughed in the stubble, sprayed it off and ploughed the stubble. And there's quite a lot of bricks and rubble in one part of the field. I think decades ago it must have been filled in places. So another good thing of not cultivating this too deep this time is we're not going to drag all that to the surface. We had a hell of a job stone picking on here. Love driving this tractor. This 215's just great. It's all the familiar controls of the other ones we've always had. A bit more power. Yeah, loving it. Making me think of yesterday. I was on the phone to a local machinery dealer. They sell a different brand of tractor. He said, well, why don't you try, you thought about trying one of our such and suches? I was like, well, no, not really. I do like my John Deere's. Well, yeah, but he said, why are you in business? I said, because I love it. He's like, yeah, no, but why are you in business? I said, because I really love doing what we do. No, but like, you're in it to make money. I was like, business needs to be sustainable. But I said, that's not the reason I do it. We'll do what we do. I do it because I love it. It took him a little while to get his head around it, really. So I'm not saying I won't try one of your tractors sometime, but, you know, you asked me why I do what I do. I told you, it's because I love doing it. I said, if I didn't, we wouldn't be doing it. I said, 20 years ago, me and my brother decided to give up what we were doing, something completely different jobs, to get back to our roots to do this, and best thing we ever did. It's like living the dream. You know, it's got its highs and lows economically, but the reality is, the reason we do what we do is because we love doing it. Now, I'm not going to get political, but you know, don't get me wrong, this has got to be sustainable, and that's not like fluffy sustainable, economically sustainable, because the farming job will wear thin if we can't make a return out of it, don't get me wrong. I'm speaking, I think, for everybody on that. You know, fundamentally, there is a little bit of us farmers that are kids that never grew up, you know, just got great toys. But yeah, the government does need to appreciate the fact that it can't just be done for a laugh. It has got to stand up on its own 2 feet economically, and we need the support to be able to achieve that. Happy days. Go back, let's get the Power Harrow. This is kind of exciting and kind of disappointing at the same time. The new Power Harrow that you've seen in one of the previous videos, first time out with it. Now, we did have a suggestion from my mate Ed. We should perhaps keep the old one and just keep this one for decoration. It's like, no. We can't do that. This is business. The old one's gone. In with the new. We'll get her unfolded and we're going to just sort the depth out. So the depth stops on this are here. So the higher pinhole I go up, then the deeper it will power harrow. So I think that's in its lowest setting. I think we'll go up to, let's try it there. Brand new tines as well, so the tines are long, so we won't need to go in too far. Oh, just banged my head. Don't think it's bleeding. That's bloody awful, isn't it? I'm just getting in there to do that, and as I pull back out, I catch my head on this. What's that for? Why have they got that tab there? That's horrible. What use is that other than smacking your head on? That's bloody awful. Why would they put those there? Serving no purpose at all. They're obviously a different bracket, the same bracket for a different machine. Yeah, not a fan of that. They might be getting cut off. We'll try that now, see what that runs like. We might just need to go higher or lower. What was that off? Play your cards right? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Higher or lower? What I've just done now is I've just shifted my tracks because we're on, say, 4 metre working, rather than going on the same track line as we did with the discs, I've just shifted a metre across that way so that we overlap where the discs ran. Just going to set me up a link arm depth so that the Power Harrow just clears the ground, but we're keeping the angle of the PTO shaft as reasonable as possible. Ooh! Oh well, it goes round and round anyway. Okay, that seems to be making a nice job at that. I'm going to get out at this end. There's a marking eradicator in the centre between the two rollers, between the two packer rollers at the back, and that's leaving a furrow, so I think that little eradicator's digging in and dragging sods of grass. So let's have a quick look at that and see whether we can lift that up out of the way or not. Yes, that's leaving it pretty level. So you can see where the discs have brought all that turf up. You know, we've filled in most of those holes now. Time that's pressed down now with the rolls, but it is leaving this furrow here. All that turf's built up around that eradicator. That's a bit of a pain. So what we need to do is slacken that bolt there, then we can lift it up. We should bang your head on that. Now I don't know whether I've got a spanner with me. Got a trusty adjustable. Will that fit in there? What's a cat in hell's chance? Bugger. Yeah, well that's not going to move with an adjustable. It's a shame it hasn't got a box spanner or something clipped to the frame. That would be quite a nice touch if you've just been able to do that. You know, like on the rakes and stuff and things, you've got like little tools to do minor adjustments clipped to it. That's a bit of a pity. We'll see how we get on. I don't really want to have to go back to the yard just for that. It's the difficulty of doing what we are with this disc in the grassland. You know, it's a slightly different operation. If this was just bare soil, you know, after ploughing or something, we wouldn't be having this problem. It's not the end of the world. It's funny though, the old one of these we hadn't got that little share on it, that little point that's doing that. We used to get a little ridge, so now we've gone from having a little ridge to a little furrow. We'll get there. I'm not making a bad job though, it's levelling it down, it's firming it up. By the time we've got over that with the Cambridge rolls and squashed it all down, it'll level it a bit more. Travelling at 3.5 kilometres an hour. I think we could probably push on a bit quicker, but we are trying to fill those holes in. Yeah, it's just the headlands to do now on here, and then that's it, done. We'll bring the Cambridge rolls up next week and we'll roll it before we go over seeding, and then once we've seeded it we'll roll it again. I'd like to roll it prior to the seeding work just to get a nice firm bed so we don't create any ruts, to make it easier for when we're mowing it next year. So the new Power Harrow's working really well. Yeah, it's nice actually, having new tines on it is, you know, obviously it's a new machine, but new set of tines, not dragging us low into the ground, so the tine carriers aren't dragging soil. It'd be interesting when I go to a show to look at the new model. We were more than happy to have this, the very last one. These 404s that came out of the factory, the last one, in fact, off the production line. Be interested to look at the new ones with the hydraulic levelling systems and stuff, but it's never something that I've ever thought we need. There we go. Field done. So I think by the time that's rolled down, it should firm up into a decent seed bed. Dirty, great big rock here. Look at that bugger. We'll have him out of the way. Need 2 hands for this one. Right, we'll get back to the yard. Got the sprayer on ready to go. Fill that up with water. Looks like it's going to stay dry now, so we'll get that spraying done that I need to get done tonight, and that'll save a job tomorrow. So convenient, these folding Power Harrows. Much easier than having to drop a 4 metre off onto a trailer. That's it, ready to go. How easy is that? We're ahead of the curve, which is nice. Nice to be on top of the job, isn't it?